What's up, everyone? Welcome back to this week's episode of Just Chris Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Carter. We have a special guest on the podcast today. It's back-to-back this week, but before I introduce you guys to the special guest, I do want to give a little update. I'm working on finishing out the video portion of the last episode with Thaddeus Breckenridge. Hopefully, we'll have that done by the end of the weekend. And then in addition to that, I'm working on like a final Olympics recap, which you can look forward to that being out next week. And then, I think that's all I have to update. But we're going to just jump right into it. I'm super stoked for this guest to be on the podcast. This is actually his first podcast appearance. We've been talking podcasts for years now. And he's always said, let me get on the podcast. Like, I want to be. It's my first time. And, I'm taking the chance here. I have one of, my favorite mentors I had throughout college, an incredible leader, father figure, and inspiration from Elkins, West Virginia. What else? What more can I say about you, Coach Jared? We have Jared Varner on the other end of the mic. How are you doing today?
Man, what an intro, Chris. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm stoked that we're on. I'm stoked that we're finally making it happen. I think I haven't seen you in a long time. I think probably since I was in school in Elkins.
It's been a while, since you graduated, I'd say. So it's been a couple years.
In quotes, graduated. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to being back up. We got an email the other day from Coach Rose about homecoming weekend, and I definitely intend on being up there for that. I believe it's the last weekend in September.
Last weekend in September, okay. I'll try to be around, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Perfect. There we go. So to continue on your little intro, like I said, from Elkins, West Virginia, a West Virginia University graduate, former swimmer, current swim coach, works for the DNR. And Coach Jared, you are, one of the most influential people I had throughout my college career. You really know how to push me to my limits, both in and out of the pool. And you knew how to push the team as well, which, I thought you were a great influence on everybody, and all of the men's team looked up to you.
Dude, thanks. I really appreciate that coming from you. I love being a part of the team. I guess a little backstory about how I got involved with D&E. My first year was your freshman year, right?
It was, yeah. Okay. But before we hop into that, you want to kind of introduce. I don't want to jump ahead, but you want to kind of introduce yourself a little bit.
Yeah, I'm messing up already. I'm jumping way.
It's ahead. All right.
Okay,
hey, shake it off.
So I'm kind of old. I'm probably dad bod figure. For about 6-7 years. Born in Morgantown. Grew up in Elkins. Swam in high school. Started swimming at like 12 competitively. Something that a lot of people might not know about me is I could not swim until I was 9. So I learned to swim because I was at a pool party at some friend's house, and I was just that kid that was scared to death, hanging on the corner of the pool, wouldn't go out, and all my friends were out there playing. I was like, man, I want to get out there. So I forget who it was. I think it may have been Colin Rager, an old church buddy that lives in Buckhannon now. He got me out there in the middle, and then 3 years later, Summer League, Elkins Otters started here. In Elkins, the coach called my mom, asked her if I wanted to swim. The first year I was like, nah, swimming's for girls. I'm not swimming. So that might be a little sexist of me back then. But the next year I swam and I did pretty well. So I wanted to keep swimming because I did well.
Right.
So I won't get into all the swim details because I know we're going to touch on that a little later. So swam in high school, went to WVU, got invited to be a walk-on at WVU from 2007 to 2010. Swam 3 years there. Had a hell of a time. Loved it. Got my degree in wildlife and fisheries resources. After college, I did not want to grow up and have a real job like you have now. So
come on, man.
So I see you doing work. You're doing well for yourself.
Steady grinding.
Yeah. So I went to do the Disney College program for the 6 months after I graduated college down in Orlando. Partied it up. Came back to West Virginia, started my professional career in 2012. Working for private consulting firms, doing environmental work. permits, surveys, things of that nature for coal mines, gas companies, all that. And then kind of had 3 different private firms I worked for, working my way back to Elkins. Met my wife in 2014 at a bar here in Elkins at Beenders. Shout out Beenders.
At Beenders? Shout out to Beenders.
Shout out Beenders. All the D&E's kids probably know about Beenders. So was able to buy a house here in 2018, I think. Got married here in Elkins 2019. Started helping out with D&E swimming in 2016. When I moved back here, I was kind of working remotely, so I got to help coach swimming on the weekends intermittently, 2016 until now. And now in my life, I'm expecting a baby girl in the next month. So that's kind of a.
Oh, wow. I didn't know it was that soon.
Yeah, well, it wasn't supposed to be. I mean, her due date's October 18th, but they're going to have to do a scheduled C-section. So probably 4 to 5 weeks, it's going to be breathing real air. So shit's getting real.
That's crazy. I didn't know it was coming up that soon. Man, a lot to unpack here, Coach Jared.
Yeah.
First thing I definitely want to talk about is, your history as a swimmer. Said your first summer was doing summer team. I went through a very similar experience. And at first, I kind of had a very similar opinion to yours. I didn't want to be on the swim team. Swim has such a stereotype.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wanted nothing to be a part of that. But started swimming at 12, and then you swam high school as well.
Yep, I started swimming at 12. Elkins Daughters, a lady by the name of Kate Abney, got me on the team. My mentor in my life, John Schmidt, was the coach there. He helped me throughout my career up to high school. High school coach was Kit Phillips. She's a pretty good coach or swimmer from back in the day, and she's a really good coach. She kind of pushed me. I didn't take swimming too seriously. Kind of, I see myself in you somewhat. I mean, not that you didn't take it seriously, but your
I can agree with this.
Your junior year of college, I saw kind of a light bulb come on, and you're like, I only got 2 more seasons of this. Maybe I need to start picking it up, trying a little harder here and there where I didn't used to in practice. So I did that my junior year of high school. The first 2 years I dicked around. It was late for practice would start at 4:00. I'd be over at my girlfriend's house till 3:57 and fly down the back roads, wrong way back roads, to try to make it to practice in time. So I didn't really care that much. But she pushed me through and went to Virginia Tech swim camps, Penn State swim camps, God forbid, Pitt swim camps, eat shit Pitt.
Oh.
Had to throw that in there. Sorry for all you Panther fans. WVU swim camp. My senior year, I did pretty good at states, 200 free, 100 back. I got second. I never did win a state championship. I got all state second team 3 times. Then got to be invited walk on the WVU the year after they won the Big East championships. Sergio Lopez called me after states and said, "There's a spot for you on the team if you want to be there." So I was like, "Hell yeah, I'm there." So.
That's awesome. I think we had a very similar high school swimming experience. I didn't really take it all that serious, probably until after my junior year of high school. Up until then, it was kind of just show up, get the laps in, and then be done. And then senior year, it kind of clicked in my head, okay, I'm going to school for this. Maybe I should take it a little more serious. Still didn't take it super serious. I was still showing up late to practice. Skipping practices here and there.
Yeah.
And really, I had no excuse for being late because it's a 4-minute walk from my house to the pool. So I lived the closest, but always showed up one of the last people to show up. But I really prioritized my naps over practice, which is understandable.
And naps are big, especially in college. I didn't take any naps in high school, but college for sure.
Yeah, freshman year, in between practices all the time, naps.
Yeah,
I'd be skipping dinner for naps.
Yeah, but priorities.
That's funny, right? And then in high school, you got quite a few records. Is that right?
Yeah.
Are they still up now?
I think I hold still at least 6. couple of them are relays. I think there was 12 possible at one point. I think I had 9. I sucked at breaststroke. I never had it. A few got beat really early after I left, like 100 fly, 50 free. I still have the 200 free, the 100 back, I think, a couple relays.
What was your 2 free time?
146.6, I think. It's 146 something is the high school record there. I think that's the last one that'll stand. But there's a couple kids that swim on Rays. You probably remember them coaching them at D&E. Isaac Anger and Owen Guthrie. They're both 14, and both of those kids swim a 50-second 100-yard freestyle right now. so
no way.
Yeah, my records will be gone once they come through. Yeah, they're really good, so it's fun coaching them. So.
And then following college, what got you interested in wanting to help out with the college swim team in Elkins?
Well, it kind of fell into my lap. Coach Rose kind of reached out to me here in Elkins because I was given some lessons up at D&E. So when I was telling you 2012 to 2016, I moved down to Beckley and started my professional career in private environmental consulting. I was down there away from nobody I knew. Nobody knew I had a swim background. Like the void in my life probably was swimming, because from the time I was 12 until I graduated college, swimming was there. So when I moved back or started coming here every weekend, I started helping out with Rays, some of the club teams, Otters, and giving some kids private lessons at D&E on Saturdays and Sundays. And I guess Coach Rose was over listening to me give some of these kids lessons. She reached out to my now mother-in-law, I believe, at the school. She knew who I was. She just asked Laurie, who's that guy? What's he doing? She got my contact information, sent me an email, and she's like, would you be interested in helping out a college team? And I was like a little blown away at first, a little nervous. I was like, I don't know how to coach college kids. I'm like 25 years old. I'm only a couple years older than them. But came in one spring, sat down, I think it's 2016, spring of 2016, sat down. I was like, hey, I work, all over West Virginia during the middle of the week. I can't help out in the week, but I'll help out on the weekends when I can, in the meets that I can, which, I wasn't there as much as I could be or much as possible. But when I could on weekends, I showed up, and it kind of just bloomed into a cool thing. And it's been really fun helping out, volunteering there with Coach Rose and Senator swim teams.
Yeah, it was awesome having you on board. When we came in freshman year, they didn't have any assistant coaches like going into the year. And then it was at the first meeting where Coach Rose introduced you and then 2 other assistant coaches. I think that year I only saw the one of them maybe like 2 or 3 times at a practice. The other guy didn't see him at all. And then you were there on the weekends and then like the Friday evening practices.
Yeah, that's right. I know both of those people. I won't throw them under the bus by saying their names, but
we won't dox them.
One of the guys was in my wedding, so he didn't show back up. But life gets busy. Volunteering's kind of hard. I mean, right. I understand their position, but I just love doing it, and it was so fun. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, just being there for the weekends and Friday night practices, like you left a great impact on all the swimmers like throughout the 4 years there. And then kind of going back to what you said, where you really like kind of saw the light turn on for me my junior year. That's when like I really began to take things more serious and like kind of start to listen more to Coach. Not that I wasn't listening to her, but like really putting like the pen to the paper when it came to like specific techniques, things like that.
Yeah.
And Saturday mornings, you were over top of us, pushing us. And the Saturday morning practices were not easy.
Yeah, I love to be there when it was really hard, because that's like, I like to make hard practices. I like to, Vic Riggs at WVU gets really tough, hard practices. So those are the ones I like to be at. So it was fun trying to push you guys, and being in the weight room, getting down, doing, some reps with you all side by side every now and then. So, yeah,
I think the one memory that stuck with me for a Saturday morning practice, we were doing some type of like team drill or whatever. Like, you know how the Saturday mornings went with like a specific thing.
Yeah.
And I think it was like we had to swim for a certain amount of time, stop for like 5 seconds, whatever, then continue swimming.
Yeah.
And I had it together like the first half of practice, and it slowly started to go downhill. And in my head, I was like, all right, we're just going to get through this practice. Like, I'm just ready to be done with it. And I get to the wall, and you're like in my face. You're like, Chris, I know you can do much better than where you are. Like, just like digging into me. And I remember leaving the wall, and I was like, fuck this. Like, I'm just ready to be done with practice. But I thought back to that, like, throughout, like, the rest of college, and that definitely pushed me and motivated me, like, on the Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
And then, you had to dig into me again on my very last Saturday morning practice. So I went all through college, wasn't late for practice once.
Oh yeah.
The last Saturday morning practice of my college career, overslept.
Yeah, I
And,
remember that.
I never heard the end of it from Coach Rose, and I still got it from you.
Yeah, I forgot about that till you mentioned it. But yeah, you were like 20 minutes late.
I know. I looked at the clock and I was like, no way.
Yeah, that's a bummer, man. Yeah, you almost had 100%, but not perfect.
Seriously, right there. Like, Gavin beat me out just by the 20 minutes.
Gavin, man, I miss that guy. Dang. Hopefully he listens. Hopefully you're listening out there, Gavin.
I think he tunes in, then he'll be there for homecoming as well.
All right, sweet.
But before we kind of push on through the swimming topic, I do want to ask, like, I just stated like some of my fondest memories, with you coaching over me. Do you have any memories that stand out or have kind of stuck with you throughout the years?
A couple, couple in the weight room, like nothing specific, just getting down and doing some reps with, you guys. Were you there when AT was there still? Was he a freshman when you were a senior?
I was.
Dude,
well, he was a sophomore when I was a senior,
Okay.
but he came in.
Okay.
I was a junior his freshman year.
Just all the AT conversations are really funny. Sam Taylor's laugh.
Oh my gosh.
I think there's so many good things. I can't pinpoint one. Like your freshman year was really good because of the senior guys. Hopefully nobody takes offense to that. I thought the senior girls were really good that year. The senior guys, and it was my first year, so I enjoyed like every meet. Going down to Raleigh for conference was sweet. Driving the bus. Were you in my van freshman year?
On the way back.
Okay, you weren't there. So I had a great time.
Or no, on the way there, I was with you guys, and on the way back, you had the senior guys with you.
Okay, that's how it was. Yeah,
but sophomore year, we rode with you back.
Driving everybody was really cool too, and just giving like little pep talks before you get out to go in the conference, being like, I know the people I could say, well, get your fucking ass in gear, let's go, let's go.
Right. And
then I knew the kids that you couldn't really say that to, so. But
yeah,
then your graduation, man, kind of emotional. Seeing you grow up over 4 years and improving in everything you did, getting your 100 breaststroke down almost to where you wanted it to be. So
just right there, right? If you're watching the video, just right there. If you're not, it's just like a fingernail away.
It's close. You shouldn't have cut your fingernails that year. You would have got it.
You live and you learn, I guess.
Yeah. So, but so many good memories along the way, and just making relationships like you and I have over swimming.
Right. Still holding it down, and then I think it's crazy, like how many, like how small of a world it is when it comes to swimming. Like I didn't really realize much about it until I worked down at Texas A&M. And I started talking to the assistant coach down there, and he's like, "Oh, I know Jared Varner."
Jason.
I was like, "Wait, hold up."
Yeah.
And then I met other people at that camp as well. They're like, "Oh, I swam with this person. Like I was coached by this person," and then it's just like all clicking together. So it's crazy how small of a world it is when it comes to like just swimming.
Yeah, there's a web like of swimming all over the country, all over the world. Really, like somebody knows somebody that's knowing somebody, and which is really cool. It brings me. Pat Snively, the Fairmont State old swim coach, is now the AD at D&E. So
no way.
So I didn't know if you knew that.
It all ties back together.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
So that's kind of big moves for. I think it's a positive thing for the D&E swimming teams because the athletic.
I couldn't agree with you more on that.
Yeah, the athletic director knows how to run a swim program. Not Coach Rose does too, but he understands the financials that go into it.
Yeah, it's good to
everything.
kind of have like that backup
Yeah,
when it comes to the swim team.
yeah, yeah. So that's just
Yeah.
that made me think of that, talking about webs and everything,
Mm-hmm.
connections.
That's crazy to hear. Now you did talk about our trip down to North Carolina, which I know it's not your first trip down to North Carolina. A few years ago, you came through one summer. We got burgers at one place, and then
Yeah.
you've been back quite a few times, right?
I've been so my wife's a huge Tar Heels fan. I see that NC State polo you got on. It's looking ugly.
I had to. I'm sorry.
But no,
Hopefully she's not watching it.
no, I mean, she might watch it after, but she's not here right now. But yeah, I love coming down to North Carolina. Since we've been dating or together in 2014, we've been down every year except 2020, COVID year. Um, so we weren't traveling. Well, nobody was really traveling. No, we
Right.
usually come down and watch a Tar Heels game once, twice a year. We've watched a football game down there. And then, yeah, after a basketball game, we met you in Raleigh. Went out to, I don't remember the name of that place, but that's pretty
Mojos.
Mojo's. That's a good ass place to eat.
They have super good burgers.
Yeah.
And you've met the head coach, right? I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Oh, yeah. NC State.
No, for UNC. You've met the Tar Heels head coach, right?
I am not. The NC State coach, though, that he used to be assistant coach at Virginia Tech. And I met him, Braden. I forget his last name.
I'm not sure.
But yeah. But no, I never met the UNC head coach.
Okay. Oh, you've met WVU. You met Huggins. Yeah, I definitely remember seeing that photo. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. When you plan on coming back to North Carolina? That's the real question.
Well, it would probably be this basketball season if we weren't expecting a child. I don't know how.
Darn kids.
I don't know how traveling with a 4 or 5 month old to Chapel Hill, Raleigh area to watch a basketball sporting event's going to go. Probably, if we don't make it down this year, next year for a game, we can let the grandparents watch the 1-year-old. So
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. You got to let me know when you're back in town.
I will, yeah.
Get burgers again. I'll show you other spots in town.
Yeah.
Speaking of traveling, you just got back from a little trip. Is that right?
I just got back from a bachelor party in Vegas.
Oh, here, wait. Say that one more time.
I just got back from bachelor in Las Vegas. So.
And how was that?
It was. I'd never been there. So going at 32, it was kind of real. I can't party like I used to, but I tried. It was amazing. Like, just everywhere, gambling everywhere, life everywhere. Literally, sleeps, like people say. It was unreal. I had a great time. I was there with seven friends. The guy that's getting married was my roommate when I went down to Orlando and did the Disney college program. So he lives in Rochester, New York. So I had to make it for him. He was a big player in like my life then when I moved down there. So we've had a lot of good times, and Vegas was just wild. The pool parties, we saw chain smokers there at a pool party.
No way.
We went to Encore. So they had the pool parties, like $275 to get in. And I was like, oh man, my bank account's going to be hurting. So
you went through it.
Yeah.
You went through with it. And how long were you in Vegas for?
So flew in Thursday morning, got there Vegas time, 9 a.m., and left Monday morning. So 4 days, Friday, Saturday. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I
didn't know you were there that long.
4 days. It was sweet. All we did was gamble, party. Yeah. It was a good time. Saw DJ Pauly D, Chainsmokers, pool parties. It was insane.
Dang, that is crazy. Would you go back again?
Give me 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah, but yeah, I'll go back.
Got to stack some bread first.
Yeah, I'll go back again for sure. So.
I think, so I went back in September, but I think I was only there for, 2 or 3 days, or like 2.5 days. But like I had a good time at the casinos.
That's probably a better amount of time to go. But yeah, the casinos are wild. The sports gambling places are wild. It's cool. It's a cool place.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. And then, we're gonna keep hitting on traveling because I know you got a ton. You studied abroad as well. I couldn't tell you the name of the school. I looked it up on LinkedIn
Oh,
yesterday.
whoa, looking me up
Um,
on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn and Facebook. I just had to make sure my facts were right. Studied abroad. Where were you, and how was that?
I studied abroad at Tartu University. It's in Estonia, so it's a Baltic state in Europe, just below the Baltic, south of the Baltic Sea, south of Sweden, and just a little to the west of Russia and north of Latvia. Tartu is the second largest city in Estonia. Their capital is Tallinn, and that's where I flew into. And yeah, it was a great time. It was a good experience. I did it the second semester of my third year of college. And that's kind of what broke me away from swimming because the coach there didn't like it that I was taking a whole semester off to study abroad. And when I kind of came back, I didn't get back into swimming. I got a job. But anyway, I went with my girlfriend at the time. She honestly is the one that wanted me to, well, I don't know if she wanted me to go, but she's the one that pulled me to, study abroad. I probably wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for her. So it was a great experience. Got to travel to Latvia, Czech Republic, Greece, Sweden, Norway. Didn't get to go to Russia or Spain like I wanted to, or Germany, England. Just ran out of money, as like a 21-year-old kid in college. Didn't have too much, but it was an awesome
Mm-hmm.
time. The people there are a little bit different. Uh, they kind of don't talk much. English is the third language there, so they were under like Russian KGB rule until like 1994. So they had
Oh,
recently,
wow.
it had only been, let's see, it had only been like 17 years since they got out from KGB. So really quiet. They only fly their national flag on their Independence Day, which I thought was really strange because everywhere you go in the U.S., you see the American flag.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere. So it's a really cool tidbit there. So we were there during their Independence Day. So it's crazy on that day. You see their flag everywhere. But then the next day and the next day, you don't see it anywhere. So it's kind of cool. I don't know if that's changed in the last 10 years. It's been 10 years since I was there. The foods were a little different. People were a little different. They kind of, there's no personal space or bubble. They'll get like right up on you in line at the grocery store, or like if you're looking at some milk and they need some milk, they'll just like reach their hand like
Oh, wow.
right in front of your face to get what you need and just keep going. That's the way it was there. So they didn't consider it rude. Um, but it was sweet. I enjoyed it.
Were you there for fall semester or spring semester?
Spring semester. So I flew down February and flew back, and their semester ended mid-June, so it was a little longer than ours here, and it started later, so it was like February to June, so it was
Okay.
almost 6 months. It was like 5, and then
Would you go back?
oh yeah, I want to go back bad. It's just getting airline tickets across the pond's expensive, and getting time off work now. So
Right.
someday I want to go hit up some spots and go back there, show my wife around. So,
Yeah. Do you still have your passport?
I do. I had to renew it. I got a passport then for going over there, but I had to renew it before we went on our honeymoon because it was going to expire.
Okay. Where'd you go for that?
Went to Cabo in Mexico for a week. That was sweet, an all-inclusive resort. So loved it. You know, everyone tells you at the airlines, don't fall for these guys that are like, oh, we'll take you here, there for like, 30, $40. Well, I kind of like played them, ended up going to this other resort, getting a party boat out on like the ocean for free if you go show up to this resort and go through their like spill for like 2 or 3 hours to try to get you to buy something. So we
Uh-huh.
had that. Then we had like a 2 hour tour to Hotel California, which was on like,
Was this at your resort, or this was at the other resort?
this was at another resort. So we had to get
Yeah, to finesse it a little.
yeah, we had to get an Uber from where we were staying, going to a fancier resort, listen to their spill to try to get us to buy a condo there. Said no. We got a free bottle of tequila. We got a party boat with all you can eat and drink. to see the Cabo Arches. I forget what the real specific name is. Took us out there, pictures of that. Got to travel to the west side, like west of Cabo. I forget the name of the town, but visited the Hotel California. And then we got some other kind of package involved there that I forget, but picked that up in the airport and it was great. I'm glad I didn't listen to everybody that told me not to do that.
Yeah, you made a good experience out of it.
Yeah, I wanted to go marlin fishing when I was there because it's supposed to have the best marlin fishing in the world. But since I was on my honeymoon, I was a little bit busy.
Yeah, that makes sense. You can't. Girls aren't big fans of guys fishing.
Yeah.
Not the hard way here and there.
Yeah, so the honeymoon, I had to give that up. So maybe I'll go back, get to do some marlin fishing one day.
Have you ever done any type of deep sea fishing?
No deep sea fishing ever. Just the streams, ponds, and lakes here in West Virginia.
So you've only fished freshwater?
Only fish freshwater.
Oh my gosh, Coach
I
Jared.
know, man.
You're missing out. Saltwater's different.
I know. It'd be way different. I don't know if I'd be good at it.
Well, just like shore fishing, like even that, like it's much more fun than there's like more fun than freshwater just because like you have to stay like you have to keep your attention on it at all times and then constantly just have your finger on the line and kind of like read where the current's pulling it and differentiate that between what's actually like on your line or if it's just the way it's pulling it out.
Yeah, that makes sense. What do you guys catch there most, or what do you fish for when you go to the ocean?
The last time I went, I don't know what kind of fish we caught. It was just like little, probably like 8-inch long fish.
Yeah.
And then we've caught a couple sharks before, but
sweet.
like the same size, like 6 to 8 inches, maybe a foot. And that's crazy. Like the first shark we caught, it was like the first one like I've ever held. And like just like the feeling of it, it's so different.
Yeah.
It's like unlike any other fish you've ever held. And then last summer when I was at the beach, I caught a skate. So kind of like a stingray.
Yeah.
And it took like an hour to get that thing in.
Holy shit. Damn.
Yeah,
good,
so
good
we were
fight.
fishing. Yeah, so we were fishing in the Sound, like the Sound side, because the place we were staying had a dock right on the Sound, like across the street from the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like dock, part of like the Sound, and then there's like a little island of just like grass, and the other side's like the bigger portion where the water goes through.
Yeah.
And so I threw my line up creek or whatever, like further up to get it to pull down. And the moment the skate grabbed onto it, it went behind the island.
Oh shit.
And at this point, I have no idea what's on my line. Like, I just know it's pulling like crazy and I can't get it over the island. And like an hour later, after finally just like inch by inch getting it over, like shocked that I think I had like 30 pound test line on it, shocked that it didn't break. We finally get it over and we're just making guesses. Like, what could it be? Is it like a crocodile or like an alligator? Like, we had no idea what, like the strength that it was putting off. Like, I was definitely under the impression it was gonna be something big.
Yeah.
And then we pulled it over, we get it out, and it's a skate. I was like, oh my gosh.
Dang,
it was
that's
the craziest
sweet.
thing. It definitely, it put up a fight, and then on the underside of it, like you can see the fight that it put up. Like it was pretty beaten up.
Dang, that's cool. I've always wanted to go. Never been deep sea fishing or anywhere it's salt water. So
yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. And then we were talking, we talked about this a little bit before. We talked about Barstool Sports and, we talked about all the podcasts they put up. Like, huge fan of it. I know you're a big fan of them as well, or were before Pat McAfee left. Kind of relating that with sports, we have the upcoming fantasy football season.
Dude, we do.
How are you feeling about this season? Are you getting ready for it?
I am getting ready. As you know, most people probably don't know, but I love fantasy football. Well, I love all fantasy sports. I'm in 2 baseball leagues right now. I was in 4, but I've already done 3 to 4 fantasy mock drafts on Yahoo. I've already done a draft this last Sunday. I'm in like a dynasty keeper league, I guess you could say.
Okay.
It's a 2 quarterback league. And you can keep 12 of your 16 rostered spots. So each year has kind of turned into like the first round, and then there's 4 rounds of the draft. which all your rookies go early. Like Lawrence went first this year. The quarterbacks go quick. Like the top 5 rookie quarterbacks went.
Especially a 2-quarterback league.
Yeah, so quarterbacks go big. So we already had that draft, and I love that league. This is my 4th year in that league. So I got Dak and Big Ben and Tua as my quarterbacks in there.
Do you have any pointers for people to look out for in the draft? Because I have mine coming up on Monday.
Man, let's see what is standard PPR. One quarter PPR. So the quarterback. Well, I guess PPR doesn't matter.
We're doing
quarterbacks.
one quarterback league.
Okay. Well, I don't know if he's much of a sleeper, but I like Justin Herbert because last year he did well.
I did have him last year for a little bit.
I think he's only going to get better. I think Carson Wentz, they're talking now his injury might not last as long. I think in Indy he could be big. I think Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, some of these young guys, Tua, which, one quarterback league, you can hold out and wait on these quarterbacks till round 10, 9, get some good value there. But, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Rodgers, Wilson, they're going to be your top dogs. I'd say Mahomes and Allen and Dak, Jackson. I hate to say it, I'm a Steelers fan. I hate the Ravens, but Jackson will be pretty good.
Okay, I got the second pick of the draft.
Second, you got to go running back.
Running back, I have to.
I just heard that story. I was listening to the podcast where you did, since you were the winner, you got to pick how the draft goes, and you did your little financial game, and until the last 3 days you were in last, and you got up and got first. And then you're like,
yes,
screw you. I don't want the first pick. I'm going to take this second
pick. Had to put the pressure on him.
Yeah.
Had to put the pressure on him. But, I do owe quite a bit to you for recent fantasy seasons because I don't keep up with NFL. Like, the only time I check into the app is setting my lineup on Sunday morning, and then, I get the notification whether or not I won. But I remember quite a few times I'd reach out to you like, is this trade worth it? Like, am I getting screwed here? What are you thinking?
Dude, you're like texting me as a sophomore in college. You're like, okay, is this a good trade? Who do I start here? Like you had 2 toss-ups of wide receivers. I think I only steered you wrong a couple times. But, yeah, last year, man, I was hitting the nail on the head every time. I was starting to watch. I'd be like, I'd give you the recommendations of what I thought you should do. And then I'd keep tabs on how they did that Sunday.
Yeah. And it paid off. I don't know if you can see here. Wait, let me turn the camera.
Oh, you got a trophy, man.
That's the trophy.
That's a nice.
That is the trophy.
It's a nice big trophy, dude.
Yeah, so it's getting passed around our league. We've been doing it since our freshman year of college. We've had the league.
Nice. You put engraved names on it, the year and everything.
Sure do.
Oh, that's nice. Well, I'm in one league that's like that. All the rest are, they just keep the history within ESPN or Yahoo. No trophies stuff.
Okay. And then you got any predicted outcomes for the season? Which way you think the teams are heading this year? You got any guesses on Super Bowl yet?
Well,
or is it too early?
It's not too early. Tom Brady's always hard to rule out. Being born and raised a Steelers fan, I hated Tom in New England, but after you saw what he did his first year in Tampa last year and saw what Bill Belichick did with Cam Newton, clearly Tom's good, and I respect the hell out of what he does. So, Tom Brady and the Bucks, Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, I got to give my Steelers some love. They got Najee Harris. They got a running back now. So, let's see. AFC side, Bills are good. Josh Allen's coming. They got good wide receivers. The running back situation between Moss and Singletary, that's a backfield you don't want to touch in fantasy, by the way.
Wait, let me grab my pen and paper. Who are those people again?
Zach Moss and Singletary. I forget his first name, but yeah, don't grab those guys.
Note taken.
Maybe the fantasy football guys on ESPN can get me on their pod one day, but I don't know. I figure it'll be Chiefs and Packers. I think it's going to be Packers and Tampa in the NFC title game. They were in it last year, weren't they? Right?
Yeah,
I think so.
Thanks.
I think it'll be Rodgers his last year in Green Bay. He's going to try to get there, and he'll play the Chiefs. I think Mahomes will win it again. That offense has just got too much firepower.
They do. I made it was 2 or 3 years ago. I made a bet with Matt Finn.
Oh
He told
yeah,
me
Matt.
I think he said the Bucks are going to the Super Bowl this year. Like I'm putting money on it. And so we bet $20 on it. Come playoffs, Bucks were nowhere near it.
I did a bet like that with the commissioner. He's a Ravens fan of that quarterback league that I was talking about. We bet whoever would finish higher in the AFC North standings would pay the person's next year dues. So 2 years in a row, I did the bet, and I had to pay his because the Ravens. And then last year, the Steelers won the division, finished ahead, and I didn't make the bet. So very
Dang.
similar to your Matt's
Yeah,
bets.
so we're doing double or nothing for this coming season.
Okay, well,
So hopefully, I can finally get my money.
make some gains, man.
Yeah, really. Let's see. What else have I got in mind? Last thing that I do want to hit on, then maybe we can kind of just like chit chat a little bit before my camera dies. You're about to be a dad soon, Coach Jared.
Dude, I am.
And so very exciting. So I made this topic specifically for that. So we're just gonna stick to some dad topics right now.
All right.
First question I have: how have you been prepping for this upcoming role?
Well, I'm kind of easy come, easy go type of guy. I don't like prep for a lot of things. I try not to get nervous, stress about things. I did some classes. I've had some offers to change some other kids' diapers because I've never changed a diaper. I've turned those.
Okay.
I've turned those down. I'm just going to go.
Smart move.
I'm just going to go all in when I have to go all in.
Right.
I'm a little nervous. It's a girl, so like first 13 years, as far as like keeping dudes away, is going to be fine. But I think I'm more nervous about the years 13 through 22 than I am the first 3 years. But my wife's a preschool teacher. She's really good with kids. I'm hoping she'll help me along the way, learn so I can help her. As long as the baby comes out healthy, that's all I care about. And we can get home. I know I'm going to lose sleep. We both like sleep a lot, so we're both going to lose some sleep the first few months. So
right.
We got a good circle around us. My parents live here. Her parents live here. Her grandparents live here. Her sister, or my brother-in-law, all live close within 15 minutes. So if we need any help, we got help. We had a baby shower this past weekend, and man, if anybody we know is listening, thank you so much. We got everything we need and more. So I don't know. I just heard it. Everything comes natural as being a parent, so I'm just going to try to let it do its thing. So
I think you're going to make a great dad, Coach Jared.
Thanks, man.
Now, next thing, one of my favorite questions I wrote for this episode.
Okay.
Describe your ideal dad outfit. Now, typically, when you think of a dad outfit, it's New Balances, cargo shorts, a polo, and a visor. What do you got in mind? What's going to be your go-to outfit?
Well, when I think about that, I think the Sperry's with the no socks. You gotta have
okay. You gotta have the heat already.
You gotta have the brown Sperry's, even though I know that's in with some of you younger kids, or it used to be. I think I've seen you with some Sperry's on the D&E.
I wore Sperry's today.
Okay, well, I just picture that, and then I picture the short shorts, like maybe a brown Columbia up above the knees, kind of.
Okay, 5 to 7 inch inseam.
Yeah, and then kind of just a button-up Hawaiian shirt, man. With
oh my God, Coach Jared, you're gonna be the man.
Yeah,
you are gonna be the man
with a big stogie, right here.
Oh my gosh, that's a great dad outfit.
Yeah,
I was definitely impressed with what you had there. I was expecting something else. I was expecting cargo shorts and maybe the New Balances, but no, you're stepping up with the Sperry's, the short shorts,
the whole
nice little polo.
I'll have the bucket hat too.
There we go.
Yeah. I got 2 of those already, but yeah.
Okay, so doing some more prepping for that.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that comes with being a dad. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say I got the dad bod down already, so
knocking off the checks here.
Yeah, the dad bod's been there for a while.
Again, prepping early. Next thing, it comes with being a dad are the dad sayings. So something like after you finish tying something to the car, you say, "Yep, that's not going anywhere." I'm trying to think what other ones. But do you have any dad sayings that you're looking forward to saying?
Well, listen to your mom. I've been thinking I'm going to have to
Or
say
go
that.
ask your mother.
Yeah, go ask your mother, or your mother said, because happy wife, happy life. That's going to come once they get older. But then,
Right.
did you do your homework? Have you taken a bath? Brushed your teeth? All those things that my parents said to me as I was growing up. Take out the trash, turn off the lights, all that good stuff I've been thinking about. So
Just stand in the mirror, practice saying them.
yeah, being nice and stern. I won't be as stern. I think I would have been more stern if I had a boy first, because she's a girl. She's going to be like a little princess, so I can't really yell at her.
Right.
Yeah.
That's funny. All great sayings. You got to live by those now that they're set in stone.
Oh yeah. Yep.
You got to stay true to it. You've been working on cutting grass early Sunday mornings.
Yes, Sunday. I haven't cut grass on Sunday in a while, but it's going to have to be on Sunday once the baby gets here. You know all about that grass cutting, man.
I do. I know it all too well. Actually, I got Lawn Mowing Simulator, a computer game, the other day.
No shit.
So I've been playing that, and I'm telling you, like, it couldn't be more realistic.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sitting in the seat of the lawnmower cutting the grass.
How many?
And
go ahead. How many yards are you cutting this summer? Did you get most of that away?
A lot of them are gone.
Yeah.
At one time, like I said in a previous podcast, I believe I had like 30 to 40 yards.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
I was cooking.
You were making it.
And then I was like, I could have just kept doing that and made dough. But once I left for college, I drop it down maybe 5 to 10. Get back home in the spring, pick it back up. But since I got home after, in quotes again, graduating, I've only just kept a couple yards that I keep up with. So it's an easy like $150 in my pocket every week.
Yeah.
So like I'm not even complaining about it.
There you go. Yeah.
But just training young, I'm ready to take on that role and only look after the lawnmower.
Yeah. You started in what, like 4th grade, 5th grade?
5th grade.
Yeah, and your mom, shout out to your mom. She told you how to do those lines. I remember that podcast.
Exactly. And I think I've been prepping for this dad outfit as well. I've been wearing New Balances since maybe like 9th grade.
All right.
Hopped on the trend early. People gave me a lot of shit for wearing New Balances. Like, oh, those are dad shoes. And I'm like, yeah. And I rock them. So
you do. I get
doing that. The Hawaiian shirts, the bucket hats.
I gave you some shit over the New Balance. You want to know what other shoes or dad shoes are? The Skechers with the big ass heels, like 2-inch. They got the 2-inch in the back.
Or the Nike Air Monarchs.
Yeah.
The classics. Now those are the classic dad shoes.
Yeah, I might have to get a pair of those. I don't have those.
Yeah, they're not too expensive.
Yeah. I'll start a GoFundMe for people just send me. Hey, anyone out there listening? I'll give you my address. You can send me all the dad shoes you want.
An Amazon dad wish list.
Yeah.
That's great. And then the last thing I have for you, Coach Jared, tell me your best dad joke. Let me hear it.
Oh, man. Which bear is the most condescending?
I don't know which one.
A panda. Sorry, that's all I got. It's corny.
Great dad joke.
Man.
Great dad joke. I'll tell you who you could probably learn some good dad jokes from is AT.
AT probably knows a ton of dad
jokes. AT has dad jokes for days, and he doesn't look at them as dad jokes. He just looks at them as jokes, but they're classic dad jokes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, any stupid one, yeah. Any stupid joke's a good dad joke, right?
The more stupid, the better, I guess.
Oh, that's the best one I got.
A panda bear. I like that one.
Yeah, you got to go.
Panda. Really put emphasis on the end.
Condescending there. You think AT listens to this podcast?
I'm not sure. I've told him about it. He's called me here and there, and I tell him that I got a podcast going in now, and he's asked for it a couple times. I'm not sure if he's followed through with listening, but AT, I hope you're listening to this episode. I'm gonna tell him Coach Jared's on, so he's gonna have to tune in.
He's gonna have to download it. He's gonna have to listen.
I know this he got his name dropped a few times in this episode. Shout out to AT.
Yeah, he's been in here 4 or 5 times. Austin Pilato should be in here. I'll drop his name.
Got name drop Austin. I'm actually golfing with Colton this weekend.
Where at? Colton, man.
At Wilson Country Club down here in North Carolina. 'Cause he lives right outside of ECU in Greenville.
Oh, he does. He moved from Nebraska. I thought he was living in Nebraska.
No, they're out here now.
When did he move?
Maybe like a little over like a month and a half ago, maybe.
Okay, nice. That's awesome. I'll have to link up with you and when I'm down there in Raleigh. Did you see where Austin, Zaid, and Swank were in New Orleans? This is a weekend I was in Vegas. Okay. They were down there. You don't have Snap. You do have Snapchat.
I do have Snapchat.
Okay, so you saw all their stories and stuff.
Yeah, Zaid got his first tattoo.
Oh yeah, he did on his calf, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Or like around his ankle, maybe.
Nice. I don't know what it was, but I remember seeing the pictures.
Yeah, I think quite a few of them are coming to homecoming weekend too, Coach Jared. So you got to make an appearance.
If they're there, I'm gonna have to try to be there. Some of them made my wedding, so we'll. I haven't seen them since then, so I wanna see them. They're a good crew.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm stoked to link up with all them again. But Coach Jared, the time has come. We're gonna finish out this episode. I think my timing's perfect because my camera battery is always like right at the end when we close it out.
All right.
But for your first podcast appearance, Coach Jared, I give you a 10 out of 10. I think you're ready to step onto the Yak podcast or any other Barstool podcast. I think you do very well on there.
Thanks, man. I think I'm going to
I appreciate you. Oh, go ahead.
I'm just going to leave it to being your guest whenever you want me on.
Say less. I'll reach out to you. But again, Coach Jared, I appreciate you coming on, sharing your insight, talking about your history as a swimmer, sharing some travel things, and then finally topping it off with a dad joke and a couple things on how you're prepping for it.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. And then been exciting watching you do these 33 episodes and seeing your podcast game grow. And I hope it grows to, Joe Rogan status, man.
Hey, one day I'm a manifest for it.
Yeah. So
that's funny. But all right, Coach Jared, again, I appreciate it. You take care. Keep me in the loop with stuff. And I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks. You too, Chris. Appreciate it.